Okay, welcome to AP Calculus class, and today's topic is all about area more than two intersections. So, Sam, can you read the problem for me, please?
The functions f of x equals 3x cubed minus x squared minus 10x and g of x equals negative x squared plus 2x create boundaries for multiple functions. Find x values of the points of intersection and label them from smallest to largest as a, b, and c. Grow up.
Okay, so in this case, the limits are not given, right? So what to do if the limit is not given? We're gonna equate each other, right? Or right here in this graph, we can easily see that the first interval right here is from negative to all the way to 0, and then 0 all the way to 2. But granting that the graph is not given, so all you have to do, you're gonna have to equate, right? So we are equating, this is a cubic function and the other one is a parabola. So we say 3, oops, sorry, happened. We're gonna have 3x cubed and then minus x squared minus 10x is equal to negative x squared plus 2x. What you notice right here? What you notice? Can we cancel the x squared?
Yeah.
Both sides? Okay, we can cancel this and we can cancel this, and what we do is to equate into 0 by moving this 2x to the left side, and the right side is now 0 here. So we have 3x cubed minus 10x minus 2x equals 0. And then combine like terms. So this is now 3x to the power of 3 minus 12x is equal to 0. And therefore, we can factor out what is common right here is x, right? We can factor out 3 also. So 3x. We factor out 3x. So 3x. So this means this is x squared minus 4 is equal to 0. Okay? And then we're gonna split this one, writing as 3x equals 0, and the other one x squared minus 4 is equal to 0. So value of x is 0, and what else? X is equal to plus and minus 2. Get me? So there are 3 intersections, right? 3 intersections right here. So negative 2, positive 2, and 0, which is this one, negative 2, 0, and 2. So we're gonna be writing this negative 2 as our A. This is our A. This particular point is point A. And this one is, this intersection is B. And this intersection as C. So we're gonna be writing the value now. What is the value of A in terms of variable x? A is negative 2. So write down negative 2. How about B? B is 0. And how about C? C is positive 2. Okay. Before I move this up, any question, clarification? Okay. Now, we do this provided that the graph is not given. You get me? But this is already given, so we can easily identify the intersection right here of x, right? Of the two curves rather. So this is the intersection. That means this starts with the limit. The first limit, the second limit. The A, B, and C. Question. Okay. Brandon, can you read problem B for me?
set up integrals that represent the total area of the bounded regions.
Okay, we're gonna set up the integrals. So I'm gonna color, but before I color, can I move this up a little bit? Okay. Here, guys. Okay. So we're gonna set up the integrals. So what's the first intersection? It's gonna be A. And then this one is B. And this one is C. So we all know that this is -2, 0, and 2. And this time we're gonna set up the integral. So what is the first interval, guys? The first interval is from A to B, right? You get me? So therefore, we are setting this as the integral from A to B, or I'll use A to B, okay? And then f of x dx, and then plus what's the next interval, guys? What's the next interval? From B to C. So from B to C, okay? And you have the f of x minus g of x. Now, I'm gonna have a color. What color you want me to do for the first function, the cubic function?
Green.
You want green? Blue. Blue, purple. Okay, purple. Okay. So the cubic function, I'm gonna color this as purple. And then I'll just do as is the color for the second function, okay? The parabola, okay? So in this interval, look at this, please. From interval A to B, what is our upper function?
Fx.
So on this particular interval, our f of x is the purple, right? Therefore, the g of x is the black color. Is that clear, guys? Is that clear? And then on the interval from B to C, what is black? It is now the f of x, the upper.
F of x.
From this particular interval, the black color is the upper curve, and the purple is the lower curve. Did you get me? Okay? So, that means our f of x is the, what is our f of x from this particular interval? From A to B, we're gonna have, what is the given function? 3x cubed. Okay. So, can you do it by yourself now? This is the f of x on this particular interval. The purple is the f of x, while the black color from the interval A to B is the g of x. Okay? Therefore, we say the cubic function minus the parabola. Is that clear? And from interval B to C, the upper curve now is the parabola, right? Minus the lower curve right here. From the interval B to C is the purple. So you're gonna have the parabola minus the cubic function. Can you set up now? We don't have to solve, but if you wish to solve, That is why a while ago you need to prepare your calculator. You get me? So therefore a to b, replace this now with negative 2 all the way to 0. You get me? And the next interval b to c, that means 0 to positive 2. Can you do this now? Do I have to show you? I hold you responsible, guys. Okay? I just go around to check your work. And then, if you wish to solve for the area of this bounded region, you're gonna have to check your work. The area should be 24. Okay? 24 square units. Okay. May I see your work? You haven't started yet to set up? Okay. Please continue, guys. Continue. And if anyone is done, someone is done, please, I'd like you to write down right here. I just want you to check your answer for the area. It must be 24 square units, okay? For the area. Use your calculator, do math 9. Now, in terms of this problem, area and volume, in an actual AP, you don't have to solve for the exact value of the area, but the questions is just asking for you to set up the equation. You get me, guys? Just to set up the equation, particularly on free response. Okay? Just to set up. Because if you are told to ask for the value or the area, it takes a lot of time. Okay? I have the intention why I write A, B, and then B, C, because we want to apply that for the next question. What's the next question, guys? And any noticing, if we do it by absolute value, remember, absolute value. So, what do you think? Cancels out right here. The B, right? So therefore, your integral now is the integral from A to C. And then, what is that? Absolute value of the two functions. You get me?
I got 0.
It should be 24. You are adding. You are adding the function.
You put add right there.
Yeah, plus. Check first. May I see? You factor right away. Don't factor. Let's get started. You factor. Don't factor. Just write down right away. This one. When you enter the data in the calculator, guys, do not use the factored form. Just use the entire given f of x and then g of x. You have it, Chris? It's 24. Okay.
This curve is so it's f of x plus, well no, f of x minus 20 plus g of x minus f of x.
Yeah. Again, I like that conversation. Say it loud, Alonso. What? Can you tell the whole class?
It's
Listen to Alonso.
oh,
Okay.
it's f of x minus g of x plus g of x minus f of x.
Okay. That's it. Shall we give Alonso a round of applause?
Aku masa ada semua
So, okay guys, remember guys, a while ago, it was specifically given what f of x is, right? And what g of x is. So, according to Alonso, it must be f of x minus g of x. Okay? For this interval. And then, the next one is g of x minus f of x. Okay. Clear now? Okay. So, continue guys. Check your work. The area for this is 24. Okay. So, can I move this up now? Can I move this up? So, you can also use the absolute value. Hey guys, listen now. You can also use the absolute value to get the same answer. So, doing absolute value, so as I said, we can cancel letter P, right? Okay, so we say the absolute value now from A to C is, so we have the absolute value of f of x minus g of x dx. So I'd like you to use the calculator now. Everybody, please use the calculator, but you have to press math 9. After math 9, you go to number, you slide to number, and then 1 is absolute value. And then you type now the function, the given f of x and g of x. Okay, can you do it? I'd like you to experience using the calculator now. Please, please. So what is our A? A is negative 2, right? And C is positive 2. So you can take the absolute value. Someone said a while ago the area is 0. Were you able to check it again? Chris, was it yours?
Yeah, that was good.
Then what was your final answer? 24. Very good. Okay. You have yours, Fabio. What you have here? Still 24. So we can do it that way, okay? So our A is negative 2 and B is positive 2. And we take the absolute value, and that's the area of these two curves. So this is the idea about more than two intersections, two curves that intersect more than two, or more than whatever, okay? So, let's move on to number 2 now. Okay, Adeline, can you read the problem for me, please? Okay, thank you, Adi. So what we do is to set up the integrals for the sum of the areas of the shaded region. So we'll do it by parts right here. Okay, now this is the line y equals 1, right? But the interval is inclusive from -2 all the way to +2. That means within this interval. Now, but from here up to here, okay? What is our upper curve? From -2 all the way to here. It's gonna be the upper curve is 1, right? Y equals 1. That's the upper curve. And what is the lower curve in this case? The parabola, right? The parabola. So, can I have this color for parabola as what color you want?
Green.
Green. Okay. This time, I'm gonna color this as green. Okay. So that means from this interval, from -2 up to here, you're gonna have the upper curve is the black color and the lower curve is the green color. Okay? So, can you now set up first? Can you set up first? Okay. So, for us to be able to identify the intersections, there are 2 intersections that we need to identify. Of course, it starts at -2, right? And then here, and from here up to here, and then +2. Did you get me? So, what is our concern? The intersections of this. So, how to do the intersection? Can you still recall? Okay, say it loud, Danny.
Equal to each other.
Okay, we have to equate each other. So that means, what to do now? We write 2 minus 1/2 x squared is equal to 1. Am I right, guys? And then what to do with that 1? Move it right here or? Okay? So, we have 2 minus 1/2 x squared minus 1 is equal to 0, since we are equating into 0. So what's this now? Or are we going to just subtract both sides by 2? Okay? Can I erase this? We can subtract both sides by 2.
Is it plus or minus square root of 2?
Mm-hmm. Well, you have Chris. What's the value of x?
Plus or minus square root of 2?
Very good. So, do I have to show you? I hold you responsible that The value of x is plus and minus square root of 2. Okay, therefore, this is negative square root of 2. Get me? And this one, meaning this right here, negative square root of 2. And the other one is square root of 2, positive. So this is positive square root of 2. Okay. So can you now set up the equation? So what would be our first set up? The integral from?
-2 to negative square root of 2.
Okay, very good. So from negative 2 all the way to negative square root of 2. So what is our f of x in that case? 1. So we have 1 minus the g of x, the green, which is a parabola, right? And then we have 2 minus 1/2 x squared dx, right? That's the first interval. So what's next? Can I just write right here at the bottom because I need space. Okay, so what's the next interval, guys?
Negative square root of
Let's hear from Diego for the next interval. What's the next interval, mijo? So we're done with this. This is the first interval right here from negative 2 to negative square root of 2. So what's the next interval? Plus the integral negative square root of 2 all the way to positive square root of 2. Is Diego right? Yes. Shall we give Diego a round of applause? So, from negative 2 all the way to square root of, from negative square root of 2 all the way to positive square root of 2. So, in this interval, what is our upper curve? What color is the upper curve? The green, which is a parabola. Okay, the green color, which is a parabola. So 2 minus 1/2. This is minus, okay? X squared, and then minus the lower curve is now the line. Okay, and then dx. And who wants to continue the last interval? Joseph, the last interval. Okay, so the upper curve is y equals 1, right? So, any question? Shall we give Joseph a round of applause? Although it's not clear here, I'm gonna use other color. Can I use blue for this? This is minus 1/2. Can you see? And then x squared, and then dx. Okay. So we're done, right? So our objective right here is just to set up the equation. We don't have to solve for the area. Adeline and Cleo.
Leo.
Trouble.
No. We'll say.
It rounds it all.
What is it called? What is the A and C? I think. Oh,
So let's do practice now. Again, guys, on Monday we're gonna have mid-unit test. So coverage for the test is 8.1 up to 8.6 on Monday. So before you set up the integrals, you're gonna identify A, B, and C, and you know what to do, right? So what to do with these two functions? Equate them for us to have the x interval. Can you do it now?
Descartes forgotten that they are linked.
Can you do it now? Who wants to do it right here?
no.
Okay, we're gonna equate each other. So we have 2x cubed minus x squared minus 7x is equal to x squared plus 5x. Okay, so this means 2x cubed minus 2x squared minus 12x equals 0. What is common? Aside from x, we have 2, right? Okay, common is 2. So we're gonna factor out 2x. So this means x squared minus x minus 6. Am I right, guys? Equals 0. So we have, can we still factor this one? It's negative 3 and positive 2, right? So we have 2x and then x for period 4, right? Okay. Okay, guys, let's continue. So we have x. So it's gonna be negative 3 and positive 2, right? So what's the first value of x? X equals 0. What else? X equals 3, and the other value x equals negative 2. So therefore a must be negative 2, okay, and then b must be 0, and c must be 3. Can you now set up the integrals? Can you set up now the integrals? So smallest to the largest.
Oh, there's too so good to say anything. There's too so good.
Maybe the window's too small.
So if you graph this one, I just want you to do mental graph. Okay? Graph it mentally. This is cubic function. So normally this leading coefficient is positive, so it starts down, ends up. Get me? And this one is a parabola. Concavity. What's the concavity? Up. Why? Because this is positive. Leading coefficient is positive. So that means we can say that the upper curve in this case is this one, right? This is the f of x and this is the g of x. And then what's next? What's next? For that curve. So can you graph first using your calculator or Desmos? You have Desmos apps in your Chromebook, so you can see the upper curve and the lower curve. Okay, you can see the upper curve and the lower curve. Chris, celebration starts tonight.
Woohoo! Popping bottles.
Are you now 18?
Oh.
Could anyone set up the equation now here? I need volunteer guys. You don't have to solve, but just set up the equation or set up the integrals, okay? You don't have to solve for the area. All you have to do is to set up the integrals on. Again, most of the questions in the actual AP is for you to set up. You're only required to have to solve for the equation if it is very simple function. Okay?
It's like a it's like a personal statement.
So the first one is
Are you bald over there? Like, why are you hiding?
yeah,
You got a new haircut. Did you get a buzz cut?
if you use graphing calculator, guys, it's gonna be
I think it's easier.
the blue as the upper, which is the cubic function, and the lower is red color as the parabola, right? So who wants to set up now the integral right here?
Yeah, brother.
Chris, you have Chris?
Yeah. I have it in my phone.
How about Danny?
What?
Can you set up the integral now?
What do you prefer?
Money? Okay, shall we give Money a round of applause?
I think I have it.
Would you mind? I have to move this up. Are you guys done with this? So we can move this up so you have space.
We'll just finish up. So what? So that's scholarship. I'll just submit my information.
Once it's like, you know, you guys, it's like 63, you know?
Yeah. Wait, did you have the 4 first? Where'd you apply to these?
I'm sending you first trip.
Oh, you need more.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so she's like,
Oh shit. Also, you paid for rent? Oh no, Riverside was free.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
That's like 4 hours of work. It's what is $80?
Yeah,
That's 3.5 hours.
if you pay for Riverside.
The CSQs?
San Diego, which I guess.
Did you see?
Forgot.
Wait, when? When did you guys get
Okay. So, shall we give Manny a round of applause again? Okay. Point of clarification, guys. Listen first. I need to clarify things. Everybody, listen. Although you are told to set up the integrals, but you need to be very, very careful, guys. Setting up the integrals should be in simplified setup. That means this is already correct, but if this is a free response questions, for you to earn the full 3 points. Because this one, if I am the AP corrector, I'll just give 1.5 or 2. Okay? Why? It's not simplified. That means you're gonna distribute first the sign and then combining like terms. Clear, guys? So that means we now have the integral from -2 to 0, and then you have 2x cubed, and then minus, so 2x cubed plus, minus. I'm gonna combine right away this one after I distribute. So you can distribute mentally, okay? So minus 2x squared, and then this is minus 12x dx. So this is condensed form already. Okay, guys? Plus the integral from 0 to 3, you have, okay, this is 2x cubed, right? So negative. So you can write negative 2x cubed, and this turns to plus, so plus 2x squared. And then this turns positive, so plus 12x. And then dx. This is now for you to earn 3 points. Okay? So, it must be in simplified form now. Setting up the equation. And that's it. You don't have to solve for the area. Okay? Am I clear, guys? So, again, the entire concept for this lesson is draw first or graph the function, and in that particular interval you have to look for what curve is the upper and what curve is the lower. And same thing with the next interval. Okay? So, this ends our lesson, and then get ready for the mid-unit test on Monday.